Hey guys, I hope you've had a good day today and that you have been able to take some time and spend with the Lord in His presence and in His Word. We're just going to briefly go over a few things tonight from our daily reading, which was Exodus chapter 4 and through 6, but we're going to focus on chapter 4. When we read this chapter, I think what strikes us the most is you see this man who's being called by God to do something, and you see him stalling. He's not necessarily questioning God in the sense that he's saying, you obviously don't know what you're doing. I need to question your motives. But he's questioning God in a way that you can see that he is stalling because he has fear. So what can we take from this, and how can we apply this to our daily lives as Christians and apply this in a way that teaches us to be more like God and to learn from this moment? First, I would say you need to trust God when he's calling you and he's asking you to step out in something. You need to trust him. So even when you feel like God's asking you to do something and it just seems like it's way beyond what you feel you're capable of, what you feel you're equipped for, you need to trust God and believe that he will make a way and he will prepare you for that very moment. You need to seek support. Just like you see when Moses was able to get support from his brother. You know, God places people in our lives to help us do what he's called us to do. And he sets people up in our lives, not for us to push them all away, but for us to lean on them when we need them. Also, obedience, right? We need to learn to obey the Lord. When he's calling us out and asking us to step out in something, and there's moments we need to trust him and we need to obey him. Obedience is crucial, even outside of our comfort zones. And it's through obedience that God can work in and through us to accomplish his very purposes in our lives and in the lives around us. We need to embrace humility. Approach your calling with humility. God uses weaknesses for his glory. How many times in Scripture have we seen God use someone that the world would look at and go, there's no way they could do that. But God says, now watch what I can do through them. All of us have weaknesses in our own lives. But God is equipping you and calling you to do something mighty for him. And if he's calling you, you can step out in faith. You can be humble before God and trust in him. God is patient, and he's patient with us as we navigate our calling, and he's willing to guide us through our doubts and insecurities. Listen, you're human. You're going to have moments where you doubt and you question things. Go before God. Seek him. He will establish you, and he will help you rise up out of that. And it's only through him that we're ever able to do these things. It's not in our own strength, but it's in his strength, and he provides that to us. And lastly, we need to pray and communicate. Maintain open communication with God through prayer, seeking his guidance and direction as we discern and respond to his very calling in our lives. That is so, so important for us to do as Christians. We should never stop praying. We should seek him all things and in all ways. He's going to guide us. He desires that. And so if you call out to him, he will answer. Scripture verse after scripture verse shows that very fact. Overall, the story of Moses in Exodus 4 teaches us that God's call is often accompanied by challenges and uncertainties. But through trust, obedience, humility, and reliance on his provision, we can fulfill the Lord's work and contribute to his kingdom. I hope that encourages you and reminds you that you're not in this alone. You've got people who around you can lift you up and help you, but ultimately, more than anything, you have the God who has created all things, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. He is calling you and equipping you. All you have to do is trust and obey. I love you guys, and I hope you have a good evening.